In the last section of Chapter 2, we're going to look at comparing and contrasting prokaryotes and eukaryotes, and we're going to very simply state the theory of evolution and explain its role in diversification. So to begin with, prokaryote versus eukaryote. So again, we note that all living things are made of cells. And so regardless of what type of living thing you are, our cells contain similar macromolecules and similar cell structures. But we do have two basic divisions of cells. Cells are either prokaryotes or eukaryotes. So a prokaryote is going to be very small, even to the point of being microscopic. They're very similar. They do contain genetic material, but the key thing about a prokaryote is that these are cells that do not have a nucleus. So the way that I remembered it is pro rhymes with no. Prokaryotes have no nucleus. They still have DNA, but it's not contained within a nucleus. They also don't have the other organelles that other cells do, so like you wouldn't find mitochondria. You wouldn't find rough and smooth ER. You wouldn't find Golgi. All those other structures we're going to talk about later on, you would not find those in prokaryotes. But they do have cell walls. So things that fall under the category of prokaryotes would mainly be bacteria. Eukaryotes, on the other hand, they're typically larger. They can be single-celled or multicellular. They're very complex compared to prokaryotes. But the key thing is that their genetic material is found in a nucleus. So where I remember that pro rhymed with no nucleus, eu rhymes with true nucleus. We also have all those other organelles, and some eukaryotes have cell walls. So you think eukaryotes would be animal kingdom, plant kingdom, protist kingdom, as well as the fungus kingdom. And one of the last things that it tackles in this chapter is it looks at the theory of evolution. Now remember, as defined in Chapter 1, a theory is not just an idea that you have. A theory is actually a group of well-supported hypotheses that have been formed in this very powerful, broad explanation. So the theory of evolution says that all living things are made of cells, which we've already established, and these cells share the same basic organic chemistry and cellular features. And so because of these similarities, they support this idea that all life on Earth was actually derived from a common ancestor. And so we started out with a common single-celled organism, and as it continued to divide, and as the divisions happened, diversity grew because of something we call natural selection. And this turned into all the different categories of living things that we now have today. So natural selection by definition says that over time you're going to have these gradual changes, and these gradual changes that happen over time are going to create diversification because these variations are going to increase your chances of survival. So if you get an organism that moves to a much warmer climate, then you're going to see gradual changes that occur so as they get used to that warmer climate. Or if you had an organism that was moved to a different location that was found in the water, over time you would see them develop certain characteristics that would allow them to withstand that type of environment. So natural selection says that over time changes have occurred in populations that have made them better suited for their environment, better suited for survival, better suited for reproduction, and from there we now have all this diversity of living things. And so very quickly in Chapter 2, these last couple sections, these were the learning objectives we focused on.